Welcome to Spam Filter for Your Brain, bite-sized ponderings on how our thoughts influence our behaviour and our lives, and because we're all connected, how our thoughts impact the world. I'm here to help people reconnect with their bodies and declutter their brains. And I don't believe that we should just magically know how our emotions and our thoughts impact our lives if no one ever teaches us. So let's learn this stuff together. Lots of us have big plans, big dreams that we've allowed to kind of fall by the wayside because we don't think we're that kind of person anymore. Maybe it is, to climb Mount Everest or to become a pilot or to get yourself a serious crochet habit, or maybe it is to learn how to paint massive acrylic scenes of wildlife. There's sort of little things that we have along the way, these big dreams that we were really encouraged to have when we were kids, but somewhere along the line, I think we start being dissuaded from scenes of great adventure and great exploration because we tell ourselves, and sometimes the messages from around us come along that tell us that maybe we're not good enough for that, or maybe we're not as good as it takes for that thing, or maybe we need to be a bit more realistic or a bit more practical, or maybe we just need to concentrate on the bills or earning the money for the bills, and so you're allowed your dreams again after you've retired, if you're lucky enough to get there, if you're lucky enough to have a pension when you get there. We're just encouraged so much as kids to have these big dreams and get really imaginative and explore all of the possibilities. And I think often of the poem Harlem, what happens to a dream deferred? And I think quite often what happens is it eats us up. It eats us up and it festers inside us, not because the dream was the important thing and not because the experience was the important thing, but because the idea that we will no longer pursue this thing rests on this fallacy that we need to be good enough to get it. We need to be good enough to do it. And I'd like to challenge that a little bit and just invite you to get curious that what if you tried to do that thing and you didn't get there? What would you learn along the way? What would you learn about yourself? What would you learn about life, about the people around you, about the environment, about our interactions? What is to be gained from going for the goal even if you don't achieve it? Because I believe that all of the magic in life rests the other side of us challenging again and again that willing to be disappointed, to feel disappointment, to feel like we may not get the thing and we're going to try anyway. Because disappointment is just a sensation in our body that we've given a great big job title to. It is an emotion that we feel which is not life-threatening. It's just uncomfortable. So how would you know that you're disappointed? For me, I think disappointment feels like sort of tightening in my chest. I feel a bit fuzzy in my belly. I feel almost a little bit light of my limbs, like I might need to run. It makes me feel like super alert and like everything goes into sharp focus. Even just talking about it now, that idea of being disappointed, it's almost like I can feel my extremities going a bit colder because I know that I need to escape. And if I were to put that into real physical, practical terms, I may not be willing to chase one of my biggest dreams because I don't want to have cold feet and a bit of an uncomfortable belly. Slightly shorter, shallower breaths for a bit. It's quite wild, isn't it, what we do to ourselves when we put it into the physical terms. That's what disappointment is. It's a sensation in my body, and I can handle sensations in my body. I've done that before. Quite often, in fact, almost all of the time. Just reminding ourselves that we have control over this stuff can just shift that perspective of thinking, what else could be possible? And what else could be possible that I've forgotten about? And what else could be possible that was once really, really important to me? And is it still important now? And if it is, maybe it's worth you having cold feet and shallow breath for a bit, just to see what could be learnt and explored in this wild life of ours. I hope that your life is filled with all of the adventures you ever dreamed of, and that you never put something down because you're not willing to have cold feet. I'm wishing you socks. Socks and extreme dreams. I'll speak to you next week. If you're enjoying what you're hearing on the podcast here, I would love to invite you to Self-Care School. Self-Care School is a membership site where we have group coaching calls every week. We have a whole load of courses that you can dip into for whatever suits your needs. We have courses on confidence, body image, timekeeping, how to manage big emotions, overwhelm, loads and loads of stuff in there. You can kind of pick out whatever you want to work on. There is a big library of workbooks, which includes journal prompts and questions for you to be able to apply this work to your own life. And we have the most amazing community where people support each other, we learn from each other, and you get to work alongside people with quite often very different life situations to your own, and we learn so much together in community. If you would like some more of this, please do hop over to selfcareschool.co.uk.